So, welcome for this first webinar of 2026 about opportunities to study in the United States. So, tonight we will focus on business education. So, either at the undergraduate or graduate level, and we have two special guests. Uh, Spero from Bentley University and Kate Richardson from Pace University. They will uh, introduce themselves when they start their presentation. So my name is Céline Nouziel. I work for the Education USA network, and I will give just a brief introduction on what is Education USA. If you have questions, please keep it for the end of the presentation, or you can also write them down on the chat box. So, just what is Education USA? No, that's not the right window. This one is better. Okay. So what is Education USA? This is a US Department of State. The Department of State is like the equivalent of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in France. So it's a US Department of State network of educational advising centers, staff, and services that promotes US higher education, so mostly universities, but not only, to audiences abroad. So my job, I'm the only Education USA advisor in France, and my job is to promote US higher education to the French audience. So um, I can offer, and my colleagues from other countries can offer basic services, and most of our services are free for students and also for accredited US institutions. Most Education USA advisors, so my colleagues, are international education professionals, and we are all trained by the Department of State. And our job is to guide our local students through the 5 steps to US study. So the 5 steps, the first step is research your options. And actually today we're going to talk more about that, is how to find the best program for you. And we actually can promote the 4,500 accredited universities in the US. Today we have 2 examples from Boston University and from Pace University, but be aware there are many, many other programs specialized in business also. The second step is about how to finance your studies. So if there are scholarships, I am myself based in the Fulbright Commission. Fulbright is also a scholarship, but it's only for graduate studies. Many of my colleagues are also based in Fulbright Commission, especially in Western Europe. But Fulbright is a very small program. We don't give scholarships to everyone. In France, we only give like 6 scholarships for master or doctoral program. So it's very important that you also check for other scholarship opportunities. Then the third step is we can guide you to explain how to complete your application. The fourth step is about applying for your visa. And also the 5th step is once you got your visa, you got your admission, you're ready to go, how to prepare for your departure. So if you don't live in France for the moment, I think I only have French students, but since this webinar is recorded, please, if you don't live in France, just go on the Education USA website, the global website, which is educationusa.state.gov. click on Find an Advising Center, and then select on the drop-down menu for your region, also your country, level of service if you really want to have like a full service center, just click on comprehensive and then search. So if you live in France, you can contact me. As I said, I'm the only Education US Advising Center in France. And you have a lot of information on the website of the Fulbright Commission. And it's on the section called Étudier aux USA. And you have many information, many basic information about the higher education system in the US. You have information about the 5 steps, but you also have the opportunity to participate in the webinars, or you can also watch tutorials on our YouTube pages, recordings of former webinars. You can take an appointment with me. I can help you on individual advising. And I also sometimes travel to meet with some students outside of Paris, because I am based in Paris, but I can also meet with you either when I go to fairs, but also through online, through Zoom, for example. I think, okay, I'm not going to spend too much time, just very briefly, the structure of the US higher education system. So Joey will talk about the undergraduate level. So he will explain what kind of degree you can take, you can do in business at this level. And then Kate will deal with master's degree in the sphere, in the field of business management, etc. So Joe, it's your turn.
Great, thank you so much. Let me get my screen shared. One sec. All right, I will take it away. So Celine, thank you so much for having me today. My name is Joe Spero, Senior Associate Director of Undergraduate Admission at Bentley University. So quick 30-second overview of Bentley. So Bentley, we are located in the greater Boston area, about 9 miles or 15 kilometers from downtown Boston. We did get a lot of snow here over yesterday and into today. So typical winter in our area. Bentley, we like to say we combine business with the arts and sciences to give students the best academic preparation for the real world. We're a little over 5,000 undergraduate business students from all over the world. We're about 15 or 16% international. And so today I'm going to talk about why it's smart to study business in the United States from the undergraduate perspective. So I'm going to spend the next 15 minutes or so sharing a little bit more about business and debunking some of the myths and misconceptions about business, looking at the depth and breadth of business, exploring how business is, connected in every industry, as well as sharing some hard data and facts that will give you a better idea of how businesses and business majors are faring in today's job market. Okay, so we'll start with, just some of the misconceptions about business. So, for us, when we think about business, business is not just crunching numbers at a desk sitting in a cubicle. While there's some industries that have that, the list on the screen here is just a short list of many things that business are not. Once upon a time, businesses looked like, the big offices in a big city with the skyscrapers, with the long commute in to and out of the office. Now, it's so much more than just making deals behind desk and commuting, whether it's long train rides or via car or however else you would get to the office. Business really is everywhere, including at home in your pajamas. Um, One of the top myths about business is that it only equates to finance and accounting. While schools like Bentley might be synonymous with business, students can take that to the next level. And in addition to your major, whether it be in business or a specific major like finance, accounting, marketing, etc., you have the ability to add in concentrations or minors, which really allows you to customize your academic experience. So you can do management with sports management or sports marketing or cybersecurity or entrepreneurial studies to complement your overall undergraduate degree. Now, corporate America, if you will, has now gone global. Business majors are breaking barriers in countries and industries all over the world. And as you'll hear a little bit later in the presentation, business nowadays is both suits and ties and t-shirts and sneakers. It's sitting behind a desk and working the runway, if you will. So in these next slides, we're going to look at the wide variety of companies and industries that business majors have gone on to succeed in. So as I mentioned, business is broad, and I like to say there's business everywhere, and that's really honestly one of the mottos of Bentley is business is everywhere. And we see students, not just at Bentley, but across that are studying business, are working in fashion, healthcare, sports, tech, nonprofit organizations. They're working for government, and typically, you'll see things that will, still see with finance, banking, and consulting, but it is much more than that. And truly, every industry has business, as I just mentioned. So, at the undergraduate level, as I mentioned, you can have a major in, finance and sustainability sciences. So there are some universities that allow you to pair business majors with arts and sciences majors. So a finance and sustainability science major could set you up to go into an environmental startup, or to be a controller at a renewable energy company. So two schools of thought there. There's students that might want to do finance with data analytics, and that can prepare you for a career as a financial analyst. If you want to do economics finance with international affairs, that can maybe set you up to work in a financial related industry with an international business. We have students that are more creative. So maybe they're doing marketing combined with psychology to be a market researcher or a brand manager. There's also unique majors. So students that are drilling we drill down deeper into more the creative side of business beyond marketing. So there's majors like creative industries and film and media studies, and that can set you up to maybe work in media or public relations. Maybe some students want to go into law. So maybe they'll do management and law to work as an organizational development consultant. So these are just some ideas, like high-level majors and concentrations that a lot of universities in the US offer at the undergraduate level. So again, kind of business, that overarching term, but really when you drill down into that, there's a lot of different pathways for students to explore. Now, I want to talk a little bit about some more practical things. So I talked about the majors, but I want to provide real world experiences. And this is where I'm going to lean a little bit on, some of our Bentley graduates and kind of talking about how they've chosen their path within business, but also have gone into some really cool fields and different opportunities. And so on the screen here, there's Nicole and Jason. They are 2008 graduates of Bentley. So they combined their degrees in finance and accounting, and they teamed up to found a company called Trapology, which is an escape room company featuring breakout rooms and themes like the hot dog heist. We also have a 2019 graduate, Christina. So with her Bachelor of Science in Finance and a long history in pageantry, she not only landed a coveted job on Forbes 30 Under 30 for her work at NASDAQ, but she also recently served as Miss Armenia in the 71st Miss Universe pageant. We have a student that graduated in 2017 earning a Bachelor of Science in Marketing named Julie. And Julie applied her degree to her true passion, interior design. And now she's racking up millions of TikTok views with her home decor and design advice. And then we have student Chase, or graduate Chase, who transferred to Bentley in 2022. And Chase graduated with a management degree and uses her experience as a student athlete to combine her love for sports and sales while serving as the lead merchandiser at New Balance Athletics, where she's able to test out different products. So as you can see here, talking about the majors before, and then now seeing where those degrees and experiences can take you. So when we say business is everywhere, these are the stories that we think about. And each one of these graduates took their business foundation and use it as a stepping stone to go on to pursue their dreams. And just like at Bentley, a lot of these business programs have these experiences set up for their undergraduate students. So now I want to focus a little bit about today's job marketplace. And as we know, business isn't going anywhere, and making it a valuable degree for many jobs with the lowest, employment rates. And this is more on the U.S. employment rates. But if you're studying in the U.S., hopefully that leads to a job in the U.S., or at least starting for a few years in the U.S. and then potentially maybe transferring back to your home country or wherever opportunities come up. And so right now, financial managers, so the ones who have the responsibility of overseeing the finances of major companies, agencies, and everything in between, they help to coordinate accounting and produce financial reports, cash flow statements, and profit projections. So we also have a medical and health services manager. So that intersection of business and health, billion-dollar industry, right? And so these are the planners, directors, coordinators who work behind the scenes in hospitals, nursing homes, group practices, and other healthcare facilities running things efficiently. Actuary. So actuaries are really the backbone of a lot of companies and organizations. And there are some universities in the US that offer actuarial science as an actual major. And so it's a discipline that uses mathematics, stats, and financial theory to measure, manage, and mitigate financial risk and uncertainty. So very competitive major in the US. So there are exams you have to take to eventually become an actuary, but the earning potential in that field is incredible, and every industry needs someone with that actuarial science background. Then we have statisticians. So this is all about the science of using data to make decisions, and they decide what data they need and how to collect it, design experiments, analyze, and interpret data to report their conclusions. And finally, we have the management analysts. So these are the people who are hired to find ways to improve organizations' efficiency and increase profits. They analyze the data and see how and suggest how a company operates and suggest changes for optimization. So these are currently some of the top jobs in today's marketplace, and it all ties back to having that degree in business and the importance of a business degree. So now we're really going to tie into the benefits of studying business. And so they are far-reaching, but many of them fall into these major categories. So oftentimes business studies will cover other subjects such as accounting, finance, management, or entrepreneurship. It's these cross-sections that are often overlooked when students learn about the demand that exists for business-minded graduates. So another benefit of studying business is having career flexibility. So business touches every industry, as I have highlighted in the previous slide. And so, for example, businesses need a knowledgeable accountant, while organizations need skilled professionals to manage, market, or operate personnel. This is true in all fields. So whether you want to go into music, fashion, finance, etc. Some other areas that you will find beneficial is the job flexibility, right? We talked about how you potentially can do a presentation at home in your pajamas, or maybe you are working remote for a few days, whatever it may be. So whether you are working a 9 to 5 or you are your own boss that sets your own schedule, even more the industries to which you can apply business studies have potential to increase that flexibility twofold. And you're seeing that more and more. At a business school, you'll be afforded networking opportunities such as meeting and learning from other students, alumni, and professionals. A strong career services department can prove to be the most valuable tool at your dispense while studying at a business school. And I think this is fantastic. So a majority of the universities in the United States have a career development office. So these are a set of, whether it's career coaches, staff, whatever it may be, that are really, as you're going through your courses, they're also looking at opportunities for your internships, co-ops, and anywhere in between to get you that real world experience and then set you up for success with a job afterwards. And lastly, the return on investment. So it is surely noticeable for those that are pursuing a business degree and wanting to study business. So we all know that college is not cheap, and keeping in mind that the academics and hands-on learning approach that a college or university has to offer will really allow you to have that competitive earning potential, job satisfaction, and a variety of employment opportunities and possibilities while pursuing an undergraduate path within business. And finally, really kind of, tying that all together, there needs to be the skills, right? The intangibles, the things that you are going to gain from, studying business in the US as an undergraduate. So when you graduate from a business university, such as Bentley, you're walking away with so much more than a diploma. You are entering the world and workforce with a highly sought after skill set. So we're going to talk about a few of these intangibles or skill sets, if you will. First one being leadership, right? So leadership is not just about one skill, but rather a combination of different skills working together. Effective leaders have the ability to communicate well, motivate their team, handle and delegate responsibilities, listen to feedback, and have the flexibility to solve problems in an ever-changing workplace. You're going to learn this at the undergraduate level, whether it's in your courses. Classes are taught a little bit differently at every university, but within business, you're going to have, yes, your presentations, but you're going to have assignments where you're going to have to collaborate with your peers and delegate work. And so that's where true leadership comes through. Ethics, right? Ethical business leader. So corporations typically establish business ethics to promote integrity among their employees to gain trust from partners, investors, and consumers. Global awareness. So the ability to understand, respect, and work well with people from diverse cultures. It's increasingly important for social and academic success in this interconnected world that we have. Financial management. So this ensures a company uses its resources wisely. So a business education teaches you how to handle your company's accounting needs, comply with government regulations, and find ways to make your organizations as cost effective as possible. Next up, we have communication. So these skills are extremely vital. A business education develops your ability to tailor your messages to different types of audiences. For example, courses in marketing help you create effective campaigns that target specific consumers, while courses in corporate communications teach you how to design effective business presentations, lead group meetings, and author internal documents for employee guidance. Specialization, kind of going back to one of those first few slides that I was highlighting. So depending on your needs, you might benefit from a narrow concentration on a specific topic, such as real estate, modern languages, public policy, or sports management. And as from the undergraduate perspective, you have the flexibility to do all of this, which is why studying business at the undergraduate level is highly recommended. And tying it all together, it's why business majors and business students have long-standing successful careers upon graduating. But it's not just that first job, it's the next job and the job after that provides you with that flexibility. So that's it from my end. I know I rambled a little bit, but I want to toss it over to Kate to talk a little bit about business from the graduate level.
Great. Thank you, Joe. I will share my screen as well. And so I am Associate Dean of Graduate Programs at the Lubin School of Business at Pace University. I'm also a professor of management. I've been at Pace for about 16 years. And just a little background, we are located in downtown New York City. We are a private university founded in 1906. We originally were founded as a accounting school. So our origins start as a business school, but now we have a school of information systems, a school of arts and sciences, a school of health professionals, school of education. And we're one of the ranked, just a little bit of a highlight there, among the top 5 universities in the nation for internships. And a good reason for that is because we are, as I said, we are located in downtown New York City. We also have a satellite campus in Pleasantville, New York, which is about 45 minutes north of us in the Westchester suburbs. As Celine and Joe had mentioned, I'm going to focus a little bit more on graduate business degrees in the United States. So most U.S. business schools offer multiple pathways to obtain a graduate degree. The two most common options are what we call, what you I'm sure are familiar with, an MBA, Master's of Business Administration, or more specialized master's degrees, an MS, in particular disciplines. And I'll talk about kind of the differences between those two paths. A lot of it depends on your career stage, how much professional experience you may already have, and of course your career goals as well. So an MBA, that's kind of the traditional graduate business degree. And it really is more of a generalist management degree. And what we mean by that is that you are getting exposure to really all the base business disciplines that Joe was just speaking about. So there'll be accounting, finance, economics, marketing, management, leadership, business analytics. And so that's what we mean by it's more of a generalist for somebody who's kind of looking to sort of move up in the ranks at their organization into a management, senior management, maybe even ultimately a C-suite position someday. So a lot of the classes focus more on leadership and strategy, critical decision making, definitely managing teams and organizations. And as I mentioned, the curriculum definitely is going to cover strategy, leadership, marketing, finance, and accounting as well. It's a very team-based degree. I think undergraduate business classes as well use a lot of team-based projects, but at the graduate level, particularly MBA, there's a lot of teamwork and presentations. And as well, many schools encourage students to obtain internships and even in the classes have more experiential activities like consulting projects, et cetera, during your time at the university. So what does a typical MBA student look like? Well, generally speaking, a little bit of work experience, maybe 3 to upwards of 7+ years of professional work experience. So what this means is we often sometimes find students are career switchers. Maybe they studied something as an undergraduate student and have decided, they want to change course, maybe get into a different field. Maybe they're in an existing organization, but they want to, expand their credentials to be considered for more leadership roles. Maybe they're entrepreneurs that have started a business, but they want a little bit more, they've never actually taken an accounting class or a finance class, and they need to really understand that side of the business better. Sometimes people studied undergrad, they maybe have studied English or history or social science that didn't really have a business background, or maybe they're more of a technical, an engineer or an IT person in an organization, but want to be on that managerial track. And again, like their undergraduate degree was maybe all focused on engineering and they never took a business class. So that's another great reason why people come back and look for that graduate business degree. MBA cohorts tend to be very diverse because of that. They come with different backgrounds, different professional experience, different undergraduate degrees, even different cultures and countries. But they're ready. They're more, I'm saying professionally mature, but sometimes as an undergrad, you're still kind of exploring. You're not really sure what you want to study or what your professional career is going to be. Often when you make the decision to attend graduate business school, you are ready. You are more focused now. When you choose a path or a course of study, you're zoned in and keyed in on that, most likely. So ready to really grow and learn and network with your colleagues. And that's a big part of it as well, is that networking opportunity. It's having the experience in the classroom and learning from the professor. But in graduate school, I would argue you're learning rather just as much from your colleagues and your peers. This is just an example of what some MBA program curriculum, the types of classes that you would take. So, business economics, of course, financial accounting, marketing, business analytics and statistics. A lot of these are some of the classes we offer at PACE in our core curriculum. And a lot of them, of course, nowadays will also have components of AI, artificial intelligence, incorporated into the curriculum. That has become a big part as well, particularly in graduate business degrees. So a master's degree, on the other hand, as I had mentioned earlier, is more focused. It's even maybe seen as a technical curriculum for your specific discipline. Usually it's a little bit shorter, maybe even within a year or a year and a half, whereas the MBA is more 1 to 2 years. Generally speaking, less work experience is required, and you are going to get a strong functional specialization in your discipline. So whether that be finance, marketing, business analytics, human resource management. And I just want to note that, we talk about having more, I talk about having more professional work experience before pursuing an MBA or maybe even an MS, but there are many schools now that offer combined degrees where we're increasingly seeing students that are going right from the undergrad into a master's degree, like a 5th year. And that is certainly another avenue. But it should be many of those students who succeed in those types of programs, they have a lot of internship experience during their undergrad. So they're at least being able to draw from that, maybe from some summer internships that they have. So typical master's student and MS student, as I said, they're going to be more recent graduates or early career professionals, might not have any work experience, up, maybe to a couple years. And they're looking for those strong technical skills in their discipline to really advance. And they're, very, focused on, in other words, we have at PACE an Arts Entertainment Management and MS in Arts and Entertainment Management. And, those students are very focused, are very committed to having a career maybe in the arts or in a nonprofit space or in the music industry or on Broadway in a managerial capacity or production capacity. So they're very, zoned in on that career choice. So having the specialization, the master's in it, sets them apart from other people, in that discipline. So quick overview of the key differences. Usually an MBA degree, highly encouraged that you have that work experience. Some programs actually require it, some of the more, some different programs. So you want to look into that. If you don't have a lot of professional work experience, you want to take that into consideration for some of the programs that you're looking at. The focus on an MBA, again, is that more broad management, a lot more leadership, where the MS is going to be more specialized. So you could argue that career stage, an MBA is more mid-career, where a specialized MS could be more early career. And generally, the MBA degrees do take 1 to 2 years. They're usually, PACE's, our MBA, for example, is 39 credits versus most of our MS degrees are 30 credits. So that's a difference of 3 classes. So that's a whole nother semester. And other MBA degrees may be anywhere from 39 to up to 50 credits. So you want to focus in on that as well before you make a choice of which school you want to go to. Here are some examples of our MBA program concentrations at PACE. And as I said, at PACE, the program is 39 credits. So 30 of those credits, which is 10 classes. All our classes have 3 credits. 10 classes are the core MBA curriculum. Again, your finance, your accounting, your marketing, some of those courses that I showed you before. And then your concentration or your major is 3 classes in one particular area. So as I said, we have Arts and Entertainment Management, Corporate Finance, Investment Management. We have 2 marketing programs, Marketing Analytics, Marketing Management. A couple of these, as you see, are STEM-related degrees. And that's important to note because those of you that are international students, if you are studying in a STEM program or admitted into a STEM-related program at an American university, it does give you extra time to stay and have an internship. You have that OPT, optional practice training. So that can be a very attractive way to get more work experience in the United States. Examples of some of our MS programs. We have accounting and tax. We have accounting. We have a tax, data analytics. Some of these are STEM as well. Our 2 marketing programs are STEM, marketing analytics, social media, mobile marketing. We have Arts and Entertainment Management, as I said, human resource management, and we have 2 finance programs as well. So to kind of just review again, why study in the United States for business? Well, business schools in the United States are globally recognized as being you know, an excellent training ground for business professionals. There's a strong emphasis on leadership, of course, but also practical application. So many of the faculty that teach, I can say this for PACE, but I know at many business schools and ones that I've been involved with are our faculty do either they are full-time tenured faculty who do research and consulting in their specific area of discipline, or we have some faculty members who are who still work in there. So, for example, we have professors who maybe run full-time consulting businesses. Maybe they have a tax practice. They are CPAs and accountants. So they bring that real-world experience into the classroom. We, of course, in the United States, we have connections to a lot of employers, great startups, global corporations as well. And we have extensive career services and alumni networks. At PACE, we have over 78,000 alumni just from the Lubin School of Business. And so it's great to be able to tap into that network as well. And I will talk in a few minutes about our career services department. And I encourage you that that's something that you would look for in a school that you're choosing as well. So New York City, of course, in particular, is one of the world's most important economic centers. We are a block away from Wall Street. Finance, of course, investment banks, fintech, all major consulting firms, and then, of course, more fun industries like fashion, luxury products, media, technology companies. So there's a lot of opportunities for internships, for part-time work. And also within our courses, having projects that students work on. Some of our student clubs engage in competitions where they work on projects, bringing in guest speakers, etc. So you really have direct access to many employers and recruiters. And the city itself, New York City, of course, not unlike Boston, right, is really is a very diverse and multicultural city where you have a lot of exposure to global business practices as well. So as I said, PACE and the Lubin School of Business, we are right in downtown New York by the Brooklyn Bridge there. That's a nice shot there of the Brooklyn Bridge. We're right adjacent to it, across from City Hall Park. We do pride ourselves on small class sizes, flexible scheduling in terms of, so you could start as a full-time student or part-time, and then very flexible if you decide one semester, I want to, this semester I'm going full-time, but I just want to go part-time and maybe have an internship or vice versa. So again, I encourage you to look for that when choosing a school. Are you required to stay in the full-time cohort? Is there flexibility to transfer from full-time to part-time when choosing? We, of course, have very, close ties to the business community as we've been around a long time and are right in New York City. We do a lot of outstanding career preparation through our experiential learning, project-based curriculum, a lot of case studies, a lot of business simulations, and data analysis. So I would also like to mention accreditation. So we are PACEs, and any school you would look to, I would encourage you to look for. So the AACSB is the Association for the Advancement of Collegiate Business Schools. It's the predominant accrediting body in the United States, but increasingly they are, many international schools are also now obtaining AACSB accreditation. We are duly accredited for both business and accounting. And we're also part of the Middle States Association of Colleges and Schools. And I just encourage you as well to look, whatever school you're considering, to maybe, think about and find out, make sure that it is accredited. There are, some for-profit universities now that pop up that maybe are not accredited. So you just want to be mindful of that, whatever you're paying for is something that it's a degree that's going to be respected and acknowledged throughout the world. I had mentioned also we have a wonderful Office of Career Services that our graduate business students are also able to take advantage of. We have counselors who can provide advice to help you with your job search, help you work on resume, help you work on resume building, updating and creating a LinkedIn profile that's going to hopefully land you that highly sought after job, interview skills. As I said, we have a really great track record for helping students gain internships, And we have a lot of on-campus career fairs and campus recruiting programs. So it's important to really, to find out, to make sure when you're investing this kind of money in your graduate degree, are there support services at the university you're choosing that can help you, not just during your time, but also afterwards, as an alum, can you tap into that to help you with your career goals along your lifestyle there. Some of our notable Leuven graduate alumni include some C-suite executives at many major companies and banks: Bank of New York Mellon, Mondelez International, Hearst Magazine, Aflac, KKR, Chubb Insurance. So really, it runs the gamut. We also have graduate student organizations. So I think that's something else that you might want to look for when choosing a school, because it's not just about the curriculum and the classes. Of course, that's a big part, but you want to make sure that there is a support network for graduate students, for opportunities to network with your classmates. We have some great student clubs that bring speakers in, as I said, from the industry. So these are kind of things that happen outside of the classroom, but they help build the culture at the school that you're going to, and that's what you want to be a part of. And able to also to meet with your fellow classmates, and that's really another big part of how you learn when coming to university as well. And participating in the social aspect can sometimes be just as important. The admissions process at many schools, there's always, and it sounds like that's something that Celine and her organization, Education USC, can help with. There's, of course, an application. There's most likely an application fee. For graduate business schools, often required that you submit a resume and a personal statement. For many American universities, they'll require standardized tests, maybe a GMAT or GRE. Or for if English is a second language, maybe a TOEFL score or something similar as well. But official transcripts will be needed. Any university is going to ask for those. So again, for a graduate degree, you would have already graduated from an undergraduate program, and so the school you're applying to will need transcripts from those universities or you attend, even if you only attended one for a year or two. So sometimes we get applications that might have 2 or 3 transcripts attached to them, and that's okay. We just need record official transcripts of anywhere that you've attended undergrad, and the admissions counselors will look at not just your standardized scores, but also your GPA, your grades at those places. So I just want to kind of wrap it up there, but finish up. If you want some more information, there is a URL there that you can look at. That if you click on that, you can learn a little bit more in more detail about the programs we have at PACE, but also just in general, helping you choose, like, what do I want to do? Do I want to study accounting, or do I want to do marketing, or, so there's a lot of different pathways you can choose. So I think if you're not sure, already, it's good to talk to not just people at the university, but I would also encourage you to talk to people, friends and family who are in certain positions and jobs, and, what was their career path? What did they study? So that's another great way to learn, is people, and maybe mentors, people, who are a little older than you, but are already on a career path that looks interesting and inviting to you. Find out what they studied and what they did.
Thank you very much, Joe and Kate. So now I would like to encourage you to start writing your questions on the chat. And in the meantime, I would like to point out, to go back to a certain number of things that Kate mentioned. For example, you said that it was possible at PACE to study full-time, part-time. It's not very compatible with your student visa, because if you're applying to the F visa, if you don't have, of course, the US citizenship, you will need a student visa. Generally, it's the F visa. And to get an F visa, you have to study full-time. So there is no possibility to choose a part-time program. Second thing is about internships. As with the F visa, you do have the opportunity to do internships in the US. You can do that after 1 year of study, of full-time study. So after 1 year, you can do what they call CPT, curricular practical training. This is something that needs to be included, integrated in your program. And you just need authorization, permission from your academic department. And then once you finish with your degree, and this is possible either on the undergraduate or graduate level, you can extend your visa for up to 12 months to work in an American company to put into practice what you have learned during your either BBA, for example, or a master's degree in the US. So this is a great opportunity. For this second opportunity, you need to have authorization from the immigration service, but you have to go through your international student office at your host university. But generally speaking, it's rather easy to get permission to extend your visa. It's not a real work visa, it's really the extension of your student visa. So, anybody has a question, please go ahead. You can also unmute your microphone if you want to. Just raise your hand if you want to unmute your microphone and ask your question, or if you're shy and you don't want to write in English, you can write in French and I can translate your question for you. Okay, I have a question. Okay, can we contact you via email if we have any questions? So I guess it's yes for Kate because you provided us. Is it okay for you too, Joe? Mm-hmm. So for me, I think you already have my email address. So for those who arrived a little bit late, I'm the Education USA advisor for France. So you can contact me if you come from France. But if you're not from France, I really encourage you to get in touch with your local Education USA advisor, and you can find your contact information on the Education USA website, which is educationusa.state.gov. I have provided this information at the beginning of this session. The second question, what's the first step for applying? So the first step is to find your best fit. So today we have two examples, but there are like 4,500 universities with different kinds of programs, with different kinds of criteria. Some are bigger than others, some are in big cities. So you have two examples of campuses that are really based in the city. I had a chance to visit Boston. Yeah, I went to Boston and New York, but I didn't visit your campuses, unfortunately, but I will next time I'll go. But I mean, most universities who are based in this big city are really integrated in the city. I guess I'm not wrong when I'm saying that. But I mean, you can also choose universities that are based in, campuses that are a bit in the suburban area or in the rural area, in the countryside, etc. So that you need to have a certain number of criteria. I can help or the Education USA, your local Education USA advisor can help you find your best fit. It really depends on your objectives, your profile. For example, I have many French students, French university students who come to see me and they want to do an MBA in the US. The only thing is that they don't have professional experience. So most of the time, MBAs are maybe not a good fit for them, at least right away. So I often advise them either to wait a certain number of years or maybe to look for other kinds of programs such as Master of Science, or there are other programs. I don't know if this is something that you would offer in your universities, but there are, for example, non-degree certificate programs, which can be like a good addition to a French master's degree, for example. If you don't really need a degree, maybe, and you just want to like to focus on one particular sector of the business industry, maybe a certificate program can be a good option. But it really depends on what you're looking for. Okay.
And I can just add on to that too. Still an amazing job. But I would just say, if you have an idea of location or where you want to study, I mean, the United States is massive, right? And so there's, I mean, even in New York and just in Massachusetts, where where Bentley is, and New York, where Pace is. I mean, in the Boston area, just Boston alone, there's over 40 colleges and universities. So if you think about it from that perspective, there's just a lot to think about. But if you have an idea of location, the size of the university, a lot of our websites we are pretty transparent in terms of what we're looking for in an applicant as well. So if you have a list of 7, 8, 9, 10 universities that you potentially want to apply to, it has a list of our requirements as well, like transcripts, letters of recommendation, etc. And if things aren't on our website or things that you're just not understanding, that's when you are, certainly encouraged to outreach to the admissions office. That's what we're here for. We want international students on our campus and as part of our communities. And so please don't feel that you're bothering us. Like we want to hear from you. And we also, I think there's a negative to that. If you don't outreach and you submit something that is going to be a detriment to your application, like advocate for yourself, outreach, make that connection, because we're going to be the ones that are reviewing your application, and we want to be able to advocate for students that do show that engagement and interest with us.
Any other questions? Okay, if I'm a citizen of Ukraine, but I live in France and I'm a resident, can I contact you? If you're talking about me, yes. If you live in France, even if you're not a French citizen, it's okay. You can contact me. But be aware that my colleagues from Ukraine, there are advisors from Ukraine, can also answer remotely. So they have remote services. So if you have questions, for example, if you did all your higher education studies or maybe your secondary school in Ukraine, I think it's maybe better to also contact my Ukrainian colleagues. But if you're based in France, don't hesitate to contact me. Other questions from Nathan, from Catherine? Okay. Okay, thank you very much. So again, if you have more questions and you didn't dare to ask during this session, don't hesitate to contact me. Also, if you need information even concerning Bentley University or Pace or any other universities, I can also help you find your best fit and see if it's something that really corresponds to what you're looking for. So thank you again, Joe. Thank you, Kate. And I hope the storm will calm down in the coming days. I really hope that everything will be okay with this weather. And thank you again. And I hope to meet you in person someday.
Of course. Thank you, everybody, and good luck to the students. Thank you.
Good luck and bye-bye.
Bye.